For the longest time, if you were thinking about a protective phone case, you were probably thinking about an OtterBox. I think my first OtterBox was for my BlackBerry back in 2008, which is long enough ago that I'm getting a little bit depressed thinking about it. Back then, they were pretty much the only name in town, but phone cases have come a long way since then. And even for one of your more niche phones like the Z Fold 7, there are a ton of options out there. I should know, I've looked at most of them at this point. So today in the Purple Room, we're going to take a look at the OtterBox Defender XT for the Z Fold 7 and see if that price tag is still worth it or if you're just paying for the brand recognition. Now, first thing to know about the OtterBox is that it is a defensive case by nature. It is an all-in-one. So we've got the back piece connected to the hinge, which is connected to the front piece. It's made of polycarbonate and rubber on the outside to help absorb the impact from drops. The buttons are covered. It has a little cover for the USB-C port, which some people like, some people don't. You can remove it if you don't like it. It is modular. The case unfortunately only comes in two colors, black and this green. So I of course went with the green because I like colors on my cases, as you all know, even though green and blue are not great colors together. It does have MagSafe, boop, and to boot, it does look like that MagSafe is not centered, which is a good thing because neither are the charging coils on the Z Fold 7. They are offset about 1 centimeter towards the hinge, so off to the coils right. So we will go ahead and test that later, but my initial assessment is that it is probably going to work. Now, it unfortunately does have that P-shaped hole. Individual cutouts. Is it so hard? It's not. It's really not, especially when you're paying this much for a case. I would hope it does have little bits to put a lanyard in on the top and the bottom. A lot of different places. You can attach your phone to yourself at the hip even more than it figuratively is. And we have the OtterBox branding on the back. Let's go ahead and get this on the top down. The case weighs 64 grams with the 216. That's just under 30% increase. Now, as far as the case goes, like I said, you've got the polycarbonate. This all is rubber on the outside. That's polycarbonate, the hinge. And one thing I'm noticing right away, we've got some nice little recessed areas in the corner for extra drop protection. That's good. We've got the sticker here. So you take this off and it'll stick this part. This part's always the weakest part of any Z Fold case. But we'll stick this part to the phone so it won't slip around, which, you know, if it doesn't bother you, you don't have to. This part here, the USB cover, that I am not grabbing correctly, does pop right off. So, and then it's got a little tab there and a little rubber nub there. It's much easier to put this on if there's a case in the phone, but let's see if I can do it without. You can apparently take the front part off. Yeah, just like that. That's not a big deal. So that's not surprising. It's like a little tab system, little nub system. So easy to take out and put back in if you really need to detach the hinge for whatever reason, or take out this piece or what have you. All right, let's go ahead and get the camera or the phone in here. It's not just a camera. People use them for other things, Steve. All right, so that was a very easy install. This is what I'm talking about with this being loose. Okay. Opens and closes real easy. And this is what I'm talking about with this going back in, much easier when it's got the phone kind of stabilizing the entire apparatus. You just push it in there and pop it on. Very easy to do. All right, the camera bezel is pretty recessed, but it also means we're going to have some issues with our larger MagSafe accessories there. Let's move this down here so I stop pressing it. So That's probably going to interfere with USB things. Plugging in down here, wider ones, we'll test that as well. So it doesn't add as much weight as I thought, but it definitely does add more bulk. Getting it back out of the case, easy enough. You've got plenty of rubber outside to grab. Doesn't come out on accident though, which is a bonus. You don't want your case just flying off. Let's see. Now, as far as wireless charging goes, 26, 2 hours 20, down to 131. So seeing the two fast charging numbers like that, that means it is hitting that Qi 2. Let's show you one more time. Fast charging, 2 hours 20, down to 131. That means I don't have to check it using like ampere or something like that. So that's going to be Qi 2, no matter which way you cut it. For some reason, unlike with the wired charging, it doesn't say super fast wireless charging for Qi 2. It's just fast wireless charging for both the Qi 1 and the Qi 2, or 7.5 and up to 15 watts. It looks the same. So unless you check it, or unless you know off the top of your head, it can be an issue. But that is a quick and dirty way of being able to tell whether or not it's working. If you see those two, one followed by the other lower numbers, the two different charging numbers, both being called fast wireless charging. So that is my little instructional lesson for you. You see there's, again, quite a bit of lip because the OtterBoxes are known for protecting their cases, and they do that well. All right, well, let's go ahead and test out the MagSafe strength. We already know it works with the Qi 2 now, so, oh, goodness. Just throwing stuff, don't worry about it. It's an OtterBox. Hold on one second, that went over there. All right, well, magnets, I'm not impressed. Not impressed with the magnets. Now, I know part of that is the bulk of the case, but you'd think that given that they know how hefty they're making the case, and that they know that MagSafe accessories include things like grips, where you are trying to grip it, they would make the magnets a little bit stronger. One main complaint about OtterBox over the years is that the quality has gone downhill since they were pretty much the only game in town. I think that comparatively, there's a lot more stuff out there now, and people can get what they want more easily. I've seen much cheaper cases made by no-name brands with much stronger magnets. So I don't know. I'm getting back to the magnet testing. All right, so your larger MagSafe accessories are not going to work. Wow, very well at all, because it's hard to put them on this way, and it's hard to put them on askew because of the recessed nature of the back. You can kind of put it on, but then I'm just going to break all of my things. It would be somewhat ironic if I broke some of my accessories because of the OtterBox. As you can see, I went ahead and popped that out, the little cover thing for the USB part, because if you've watched any of my prior reviews, you know I do like to use a USB game controller because that means I don't have to remember to charge it, which is good because I would not remember to charge it. And I can already tell this is not going to work. Speaking of games, I am in the market for a new one. So if you have any recommendations, please do let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what you're playing. The depth here, it just can't reach far enough to get a connection, which also means other USB accessories aren't going to work well. For example, my wireless microphone receiver would not fit in there. So that's something to keep in mind. If you have anything that isn't just a straight shot in there, it is not going to work well. All right, well, all that being said, it's not for me because it doesn't check my buttons. The OtterBox did years and years ago, back when there wasn't that much in the way of competition. But as I said earlier, now there is, and there is stuff that I can get exactly what I want, and what I don't want is a case with weak magnets and that can't play my games. However, if you are looking for a sturdy case where you have your choice in screen protector, where you don't have to use the built-in one, and where you know what you're getting, the OtterBox is a known quantity. You're not just ordering Whizzikaboon or whatever off of Amazon, where you know the brand. You could do a lot worse. Uh, I don't know. Do I give it the seal of approval? I'm not impressed, but it does do. Okay, we haven't done the summary yet. That always helps me out. So, fast G2 charging. Got the kind of weak magnets. And got the inability to use the larger MagSafe accessories. Clicky buttons, which I think I forgot to show you, but here you go. Clicky buttons. It's an average case. It's if it checks your boxes, I say go for it. But if it doesn't, I say keep looking, because it is a mediocre case in general. It is an excellent defensive case. But for all of the other things cases do these days, besides just protect your phone, it's just not cutting it. This has been another Purple Room review. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it. If you did, please let the algorithm know by doing all the important stuff for YouTube, like liking and subscribing. And I do have some top lists and other videos coming out soon, so go ahead and hit that bell to be notified of when I put those out. I do have quite a lot of stuff in the pipeline. This has been another Purple Room review. My name has been Steve, and I will see you in the next one.